Imagine being hundreds of miles from home, stranded in enemy territory with no supplies, no backup, and no clear path to safety. For Xenophon and his men, this was no mere tale. It was their reality. A band of 10,000 soldiers, once full of hope, now fighting every step just to survive. This is the story of an extraordinary journey, a test of courage and brotherhood as they cross vast mountains, brutal deserts, and dangerous lands to make it home. Will they overcome the relentless challenges that lie ahead? Or will the dangers lurking around every corner prove too much even for the bravest among them? Join us as we embark on this epic odyssey of strength, sacrifice, and the unbreakable will to survive. Title: The Odyssey of Xenophon, Return of the 10,000, the call to adventure, the chaos of battle. In the blistering heat of the Persian plains, Xenophon's heart pounded, each beat echoing louder than the clash of swords around him. Dust clouds blurred his vision, swirling up from the trampled earth as waves of enemy soldiers charged forward. Shouts and cries filled the air, a symphony of chaos that seemed inescapable. He barely dodged a spear thrust at his side, feeling the rush of wind as it sliced past his shoulder. With a swift, trained hand, he parried the next blow, his eyes narrowing as he met the cold gaze of a Persian soldier. They were outnumbered, and the situation was growing direr by the moment. To the left, Proxenus, his trusted friend, led a small band of Greeks in a desperate attempt to hold the line. Xenophon's eyes briefly met Proxenus's, and he saw the grim determination mirrored in his friend's face. They had come too far, crossed too many unforgiving lands to be defeated now. But as more Persian forces closed in around them, Xenophon felt the creeping edge of despair. This wasn't what he'd signed up for. Flashbacks to Athens, to the city's vibrant streets and the wisdom of Socrates, crossed his mind. How easily he could have stayed, embraced a quieter life, and continued his pursuit of knowledge and philosophy. Yet here he was, in the middle of a battlefield far from home, fighting for a cause he barely believed in. A philosopher's journey. 2 years earlier, Xenophon had been a student, a thinker with little care for the world of military conflict. He had been drawn to the teachings of Socrates, captivated by questions of virtue, justice, and the soul's purpose. His life had been one of intellect and curiosity, filled with long days in the sun-dappled courtyards of Athens, debating with fellow scholars. Then came the invitation from Proxenus, a chance to join the legendary 10,000, an army assembled by Cyrus the Younger, a Persian prince with grand aspirations. Cyrus had claimed he could unite Greece and Persia, bridging the gap between two great civilizations, and Proxenus had been swayed by this vision of unity and power. At first, Xenophon had hesitated. What interest did he, a philosopher, have in war? But something deeper stirred within him, a longing for adventure, for the thrill of seeing lands beyond Athens and challenging his mind and body in new ways. Perhaps, he reasoned, this journey might be a path to understanding humanity at its core. So he had joined the expedition, marching with the 10,000 across hostile territories, enduring grueling days under the merciless sun, and nights filled with the haunting calls of unseen creatures. Along the way, he grew close to his comrades, especially Proxenus, who became both friend and mentor in the art of war. But now, in the heat of battle, that decision seemed foolish. A philosopher among soldiers, a thinker in a world of fighters. As the Persians advanced, he questioned everything that had brought him to this moment. Historical analysis and personal commentary. At this point, it's essential to pause and consider Xenophon's state of mind. Ancient Greece was a culture deeply rooted in philosophy, where questioning one's path and motives was not only common but celebrated. In the context of Greek history, Xenophon's journey reflects the duality of Greek life, the pursuit of wisdom in peace and the necessity of strength in war. The philosopher-soldier archetype was almost a contradiction, yet it existed because Greek thinkers like Xenophon believed that understanding humanity's virtues also required confronting its darkest capacities. It's fascinating to observe how, in historical records, Xenophon exemplified this struggle between philosophy and pragmatism. He entered this journey with ideals, but reality forced him into brutal confrontations that questioned those ideals. Cyrus's death. As the battle raged on, a sudden shout rang out across the field, a cry of despair that rippled through the Greek ranks. Word spread quickly, carried on the frantic whispers of soldiers. Cyrus is dead. The prince who had promised them victory, the man who had united them, lay slain on the battlefield. Panic began to spread among the men. Some dropped their weapons, their faces etched with disbelief and terror. Others cast desperate glances at their leaders, looking for any sign of hope or direction. For without Cyrus, what were they? An army without a cause, stranded in enemy territory with no clear way back home. Xenophon felt the weight of the news like a blow to his chest. He steadied himself, closing his eyes as he searched for some inner reserve of strength. This was a test, he realized, not just of his courage but of his beliefs. He thought back to Socrates' teachings on resilience, the philosopher's view that even in the darkest times, a man's spirit could be his guiding light. The speech to rally the Greeks. In the growing chaos, Xenophon felt an undeniable pull to act. Despite his doubts, he climbed a nearby ridge, gathering the attention of those around him. Taking a deep breath, he began to speak, his voice carrying across the weary ranks. "Men of Greece," he called out, his tone calm but commanding. "We came here for Cyrus, but we stay here for each other. For every friend beside you, every comrade you've fought with. If we fall here, we fall as one. But if we survive, we do so with honor, with courage, and with the strength that has always defined us as Greeks." The soldiers listened, their eyes fixed on him as he continued. He spoke of their shared identity, of the pride they took in their heritage, and of the courage that defined them, not just as soldiers but as sons, brothers, and fathers. His words were simple, yet powerful, a reminder that they fought not just for a prince, but for each other. In that moment, Xenophon's journey shifted. He was no longer just a philosopher or a soldier, he was a leader. The journey of leadership and survival. Imagine standing on foreign soil, lost and leaderless, with no clear path home. The Greek army, once full of ambition and pride, now faces its greatest test, not against the enemy, but against fate and fear itself. In this story, we see what true leadership means in the face of unimaginable odds. The first dawn after defeat. The Greeks awaken in a barren land, with no sign of Cyrus or their Persian allies. The air is thick with despair. Men sit in silence, their faces hollow from exhaustion and dread. The usual morning rituals of battle readying are replaced by a silent reckoning with their dire situation. Xenophon moves through the camp, observing the men who once marched with confidence now sitting in small, defeated groups. They've lost not only Cyrus, their patron, but their hope for survival. This bleak opening symbolizes the collapse of order and morale in a military unit that was once formidable. It's a powerful moment, echoing the Greek belief in hubris, overconfidence punished by fate. The Greeks' realization of their vulnerability brings viewers closer to the emotional core of the story, illustrating the frailty of human ambition. Gathering of the generals. The surviving generals call a council. Their voices are tense, and arguments break out almost immediately. Cleaner, a senior commander, demands answers. "We are Greeks. We cannot just stand here and await death. We either surrender or find a way home." Xenophon, initially silent, finally speaks. "We are not merely soldiers of fortune. We are Greeks with families and land. If we are to return, we must do so with courage and unity." As his words sink in, the other generals look at him with a new respect, even admiration. This is the beginning of Xenophon's reluctant yet profound transition from soldier to leader. Here, Xenophon emerges as a philosophical leader, echoing Greek ideals of wisdom and bravery. His calm, thoughtful words amidst the chaos appeal to both the soldiers' pride and their desire for survival. The scene is crafted to show that leadership often arises from necessity, not ambition. A lesson that resonates even in modern times. The first decision, the march begins. With no supplies and limited weapons, the Greeks decide to begin their march. They encounter harsh terrains and hostile tribes. Hunger gnaws at their resolve, and tensions bubble up as men begin to question their leader's decisions. The line of Greeks snakes through a rocky mountain pass, each soldier feeling the weight of exhaustion. Some stagger from hunger, while others limp from injuries sustained in recent skirmishes. Xenophon stays at the rear, encouraging those who lag, distributing what little food they have. In a heart-pounding moment, a sudden cry rings out as a group of locals ambushes the rear guard. Xenophon quickly rallies the men, and they fend off the attackers, but not without losses. The ambush serves as a powerful reminder of their vulnerability. It exemplifies the Greek philosophy that adversity reveals character. This scene also underscores the importance of unity and strategy over sheer force, a lesson relevant both in the ancient world and today. Internal conflict and tests of leadership. As they press forward, doubts and mistrust brew among the Greeks. Some soldiers, fearing for their lives, accuse Xenophon of leading them into ruin. Tensions reach a breaking point when a small faction attempts to desert. Xenophon stands before the deserters, his voice steady but stern. "I understand your fear. I feel it too. But fear will not lead us home. Only courage and loyalty will." Despite his words, a few men leave, slipping away into the darkness. But most stay, moved by Xenophon's resolve. This scene reflects the Greek belief in loyalty and honor, as well as the idea that true leadership requires sacrifices. By standing firm, Xenophon shows the importance of steadfastness, a quality that resonates with viewers who understand that leadership is often about shouldering responsibility rather than glory. The first victory, a moral boost. A few days later, the Greeks managed to surprise and overpower a small enemy scouting group, seizing their supplies. This minor victory brings a surge of morale. As they divide the captured supplies, Xenophon observes the soldiers' renewed energy. For the first time since the journey began, there is laughter and a sense of camaraderie. This moment of relief reinforces the value of hope and small victories. It also reflects the Greek ethos of resilience and finding meaning in every battle, however small. Reflection at the campfire, philosophical insights. That night, Xenophon gathers a few of his closest comrades by the campfire. They discuss not only their journey but also the nature of fate, courage, and honor. Xenophon shares lessons from Socrates, speaking of the mind's power to overcome fear. Xenophon's words linger in the air. Courage is not the absence of fear but the mastery of it. If we believe in our purpose, no obstacle will be too great. His comrades listen intently, inspired by the wisdom drawn from his philosophical background. This scene adds a layer of introspection, grounding the story in Greek philosophy. It serves as a reminder that the journey is both physical and spiritual, adding depth to Xenophon's character and engaging viewers on an intellectual level. Through the fire, testing the bonds of brotherhood, surrounded by enemies, battered by the elements, and haunted by the unknown, Xenophon and his men press on. But as their trials increase, so does the weight of their doubts and fears. This is a story not only of survival but of transformation, where the strength of brotherhood and the spirit of resilience are put to the ultimate test. Facing the harsh landscape, the Greeks push forward, but they are confronted by an unforgiving landscape of steep cliffs and narrow mountain passes. The men are weary, starving, and frustrated. Their journey now is a series of exhausting climbs, every step draining their remaining energy. In a powerful sequence, the Greeks struggle up a rugged hill, slipping on loose stones and helping each other over jagged rocks. The camera captures the raw physicality and despair on their faces, painting a vivid picture of their ongoing hardships. As they reach the top, instead of finding a safe path, they see only more mountains stretching endlessly into the horizon. This scene sets up a metaphor for human resilience and determination, highlighting the idea that progress isn't always about reaching an end goal, but about persevering, regardless of how far one still has to go. The attack at night. One evening, as the men settle to rest, an enemy tribe attacks their camp in the dead of night. Chaos erupts as the Greeks scramble to defend themselves. Amid the darkness and confusion, Xenophon commands his men, rallying them to fend off their attackers. The scene intensifies as we witness men fighting in darkness, relying on instinct and unity. Amid the clash of weapons and shouts, Xenophon shines as he organizes a counterattack, directing his men to form defensive lines. They repel the attackers, but several soldiers are wounded, and the tribe escapes into the night. This attack highlights the perpetual danger of their journey and reinforces the need for vigilance. It also emphasizes Xenophon's adaptability, showing that true leadership involves not only courage but quick thinking. The nighttime battle serves as a reminder of the unpredictability of their journey and the lurking threats from the unknown. Dissension among the ranks. In the aftermath of the attack, tensions rise within the Greek ranks. Exhausted and fearing that they are doomed, some soldiers voice doubts about Xenophon's leadership. They accuse him of leading them to ruin, fueling an atmosphere of distrust. A heated exchange breaks out in camp. Several soldiers confront Xenophon, demanding answers. Xenophon listens, his face reflecting both weariness and patience. In a powerful speech, he reminds them of the strength they have shown so far and the brotherhood that binds them. This scene delves into the themes of loyalty and morale. It illustrates the psychological toll of their ordeal, as well as the Greek ideal that unity is essential in times of hardship. By standing firm, Xenophon inspires viewers to reflect on the qualities that sustain us when external conditions seem overwhelming. Crossing the desert. The Greeks are forced to cross a desolate, arid stretch of land. Supplies dwindle as the heat and dryness sap their energy. Every step feels like an ordeal, and many men are struck by sunstroke. Despite their suffering, they press on, motivated by their shared goal of reaching home. The scene follows the men as they trudge across the barren landscape, their shadows cast long in the sun. The silence is punctuated only by the sound of shuffling feet and labored breathing. A few soldiers collapse from exhaustion, and others help them up, refusing to leave anyone behind. This passage serves as a testament to human endurance and the Greek value of collective resilience. In the harshest conditions, the Greeks find strength in one another, a reminder that mutual support can sometimes be the most powerful tool for survival. Reflections on mortality and fate. One evening, as they rest, Xenophon gathers a few of his closest men around a small fire. They discuss their experiences, reflecting on the fragility of life and the role of fate. Xenophon speaks of the lessons he learned from Socrates, particularly the importance of living with honor and courage. As the firelight flickers, Xenophon's voice resonates in the quiet night. We cannot control our circumstances, but we can control our response to them. In the face of fear, let our actions be our legacy. His comrades listen intently, finding comfort in his words, as if the wisdom of Socrates himself were guiding them. This reflective scene underscores the philosophical core of the story. By touching on themes of mortality and honor, it gives viewers a deeper understanding of the Greek mindset, where courage and wisdom are seen as intertwined. A temporary refuge, the arrival at a friendly village. After days of struggle, the Greeks finally arrive at a village that offers them temporary refuge. The villagers, though wary, provide food and shelter. For the first time in weeks, the soldiers are able to eat a full meal and rest without fear of attack. The Greeks gather in the village square, savoring the food and the rare sense of safety. Xenophon expresses his gratitude to the village leaders, who share stories of their own struggles and battles. This interlude offers a brief but powerful moment of relief and camaraderie, illustrating the universal bonds of human experience. The villagers' stories of hardship resonate with the Greeks, showing that even strangers can find common ground in the face of adversity. The departure and renewed resolve. As they prepare to leave the village, Xenophon addresses the men. He speaks of the road ahead, acknowledging the challenges, but also reminding them of the resilience they have demonstrated. His words inspire the men, who feel a renewed sense of purpose. Xenophon's speech is impassioned. We have come this far together. Our home is not behind us but lies ahead. Let every step be a testament to our strength and unity. The men cheer, their spirits lifted. This rallying moment serves as a powerful turning point. Xenophon's speech embodies the Greek virtues of bravery and loyalty, drawing on shared values to strengthen the soldiers' resolve. It underscores the importance of leadership that inspires rather than commands, appealing to both ancient and modern ideals of unity. The triumph and trials of homecoming. For Xenophon and his men, the journey home has been marked by battles, betrayals, and an unyielding struggle for survival. But as they near their homeland, new questions arise. Will they find peace, or will the journey's scars follow them forever? Join us as we witness the thrilling conclusion to a saga of courage, endurance, and the indomitable will of the Greeks. The final push and a new threat. After weeks of grueling travel, the Greeks finally reach familiar lands. Yet, as they rest in a coastal town, they are ambushed by hostile forces looking to take advantage of their weakened state. In this climactic battle, they draw on every ounce of strength, fully aware that they're fighting for more than just survival. They're fighting for the honor of returning home with dignity. In a vivid depiction of the skirmish, soldiers are seen fending off attackers with a renewed intensity, desperate to protect one another. The sequence is punctuated by close-ups of Xenophon, who rallies his men and shows no hesitation, embodying the courage and spirit they have come to rely on. This intense confrontation symbolizes the final hurdle in their journey, a reminder that trials can appear even when we're closest to our goals. For Xenophon and his men, victory here represents not only a physical win but also a triumph of spirit, having preserved their unity despite everything. A moment of reflection. After the battle, the men take a moment to process all they've endured. Many are scarred, both physically and emotionally, and the group is quiet, each man wrestling with his own thoughts. Sitting by a campfire, Xenophon reflects on the journey with his closest friends, sharing a rare, introspective side of himself as they discuss the losses, victories, and the meaning of everything they've been through. Xenophon's words are profound as he tells his men, "Every step we've taken, every trial we've overcome, will live on in stories and in the lives we've saved. We've been tested and we have endured." The men listen, understanding that these words will carry them through whatever lies ahead. This scene brings depth and closure to the characters' internal journeys, symbolizing the importance of reflecting on one's trials. It conveys that the scars left by hardship often serve as reminders of resilience and shared strength. Arrival at the edge of home. As they reach the final stretch of their journey, emotions run high. They are within sight of Greek soil, and the realization of home is overwhelming. However, the reality of reuniting with their loved ones is bittersweet for many, as they recognize how much they've changed and wonder how they'll be received. The men stand together, gazing at the distant coastline, some laughing in relief while others are silent, lost in thought. Xenophon himself is deeply moved, and the viewer can sense his internal conflict, pride in their accomplishments tempered by sorrow for those they've lost along the way. This powerful scene captures the complex emotions of returning home after a life-altering journey. It underscores the theme of transformation, exploring how experiences shape us and change the way we relate to familiar places and people. Reuniting with loved ones. The men finally reunite with their families, who have anxiously awaited their return. While there is great joy, there is also an undercurrent of melancholy, as the soldiers realize they are no longer the same men they were when they left. Some struggle to reintegrate, haunted by memories and bound to the camaraderie they built with their fellow soldiers. The scene captures the men embracing their loved ones, but also shows moments of hesitation and introspection. One soldier is seen staring off into the distance, reflecting the difficulty of fully embracing peace after so much hardship. Xenophon meets with family, his expression a mix of relief and the burden of leadership he's carried. This moment emphasizes the challenges of reintegration for returning warriors, a timeless theme that resonates with audiences today. It raises the question of how one reconciles a past filled with violence with the peace of home life. Xenophon's final address to his men. With everyone reunited, Xenophon gathers his men one last time. He expresses his gratitude and pride, reminding them of what they've achieved together. In a moving speech, he urges them to honor the memories of their fallen comrades and to live with the courage and integrity they displayed on the journey. Xenophon's speech is earnest and heartfelt. He emphasizes the importance of remembering the lessons of their journey and carrying those values forward. His words are greeted with solemn nods and the occasional tear, as his men feel the full weight of their shared experience. This scene brings a sense of closure and dignity to the story. By formally recognizing their journey, Xenophon gives his men, and the audience, a framework for understanding and appreciating the hardships they endured. Reflections on legacy. In a series of reflective monologues, we hear from several soldiers as they contemplate how they want to be remembered. Some talk about sharing their experiences with their children, while others mention wanting to forget the horrors they've witnessed. This scene shows the diversity of reactions and the deeply personal ways in which each soldier processes their trauma. One soldier, while looking at a memento he carried throughout the journey, shares his hope that future generations will learn from their story. Another expresses doubt that anyone who wasn't there could truly understand. Xenophon, standing off to the side, is lost in thought, considering his own legacy. This scene resonates with the human desire for meaning and remembrance. It emphasizes the universal struggle of finding purpose after great hardship and the importance of sharing stories to preserve lessons for the future. Xenophon's return to solitude. In the concluding scene, Xenophon walks away from the group, heading towards a secluded spot overlooking the sea. He reflects on all that has transpired and the weight of his experiences. While he is proud of his journey, he understands that a part of him will forever be shaped by the trials he faced and the bonds he formed. The camera lingers on Xenophon as he watches the waves crash against the shore. A slight smile plays on his lips, a blend of relief and sorrow. The screen fades to black as the final line echoes. Some journeys are never truly over. They live on in the hearts of those who survived. This final moment encapsulates the essence of the story, underscoring that some experiences stay with us long after they've ended. It reflects the enduring nature of resilience and the impact of shared hardships, leaving viewers with a contemplative sense of closure.